Hello everyone, I'm coming to you from a hotel room in Maryland where we've just set up our block machine again at a tractor show here in Arcadia, and you'll see some of that footage on next week's episode. But this week we're going to show some footage from Somerset Steam Show where we were set up last weekend. Also, we've got footage of the students. They're working on a Johnson outboard engine as well as replacing a fuel filter on a diesel truck, and the Auto 2s got to do their first bearing service on one of my trailers. Hope you enjoy it. Students are beginning work on an old Johnson outboard engine. It's been sitting for a while. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and replace the points and condensers in it, and then check ignition.
Ooh.
It went flying off.
Yeah, it probably did. It came off.
Back here. I'm gonna get this one. There you go.
Got the screws.
Yes, sir. All the little screws and these screws. That's the one with the washer.
Here they're replacing the drive pawl for the starter. It looked pretty good, but we had a couple of new ones, so we're sticking one in. Installing the new starter drive finger, we're adding a little bit of grease to the pivot point before we put on the new piece.
Which one's which, right?
Yes. Just make sure you don't have a whole bunch of other people trying it later.
I want to see if there's anything going on downstairs in Cornfield. That thing.
proud to say that this building is being supported by concrete blocks that my son and I made a couple of years ago. And all of the lumber that was used to build this building was cut from the sawmills right here on this farm where this show is put on. Those guys did an amazing job in a very short period of time. And again, I'm happy to know that my blocks are supporting it.
Got rags to put under it, like right at it. You may not be able to. It's
No,
tight in there.
It's not gonna go.
All right. Just try not to hit anything on the way up where dirt can fall down into that cavity.
Clearly hasn't been replaced in a while. Noemi's removing the filter from the cap and the O-ring. And she'll install the new O-ring before installing the new filter. Always check the filter housing for any trash that may have fallen in and make sure that you remove it. The new filter with its O-ring goes back in. This is one of the first full jobs our Auto 2s have been able to do since our return. You've seen other classes do this before, but this is the first time these students have been able to perform a bearing service. Here Abigail is removing the nuts so the wheels can be removed from the spindles. Here they're knocking out the inner bearing along with the seal. In normal situations, we would clean these bearings out really well and inspect them before repacking them. Since this is one of my trailers, I knew the bearings were fine, so we just wiped them down, put fresh grease in them, and then reinstall them with new seals. With the inboard bearing installed with a new seal, it's ready to put back onto the spindle. Next, the outboard bearing goes in. Then they will use washer and nut set preload before installing a new cotter pin and the dust cap.
This old International engine has a pinhole leak in the tank. We've got it cleaned and prepared for the repair material, so we're going to put it on now. This is the two-part epoxy we're going to use. I've cut a section of it off, so now what we need to do is knead it to get the two mixed, and then we'll put it onto the tank. With the two parts mixed together, we have the color consistency we're looking for. We put a point on the end of it that we're going to push into the hole before we expand it out around the perimeter of the hole for our seal. Alright, so he's got it in through the hole. Now he's taking his thumb and pressing it. Now he'll get it pressed out smoothly around the perimeter so it sticks and bonds there. And we'll let it sit for a couple hours and put some gas in it and make sure it's not leaking.
Here it is completed. We'll wait for it to cure and then we can put it back into service. Next time on Bulldog Builds.
We'll do more work on our Johnson boat engine, as well as putting a new radiator core into this radiator. And we'll also have our 48 Chevy engine painted. See you next week.